Chicago Tough sports fans, we're back with a All Out pay-per-view recap. I'm here with the GOAT Hitman and Scott. What's going on? What's going on, buddies?
Yo, what's up?
Why don't I have a nickname?
By next video, you'll have a nickname.
All right, thanks.
You'll have a nickname.
Now I'm scared.
Yeah, right. Well, gentlemen, tonight's topic, All Out AEW pay-per-view. Wow. You know what? There's something. There's been something been on my chest all day. I got to get it out to you guys. I've kind of been expressing my feelings about it all day. At the store, to my wife, the kids, they think I'm nuts. Okay.
He's just going up to random people at the store.
Yeah. So I'm about to get something off my chest. I hope you guys understand.
Oh,
Adam Cole, baby.
All right, I'm leaving. Oh, jeez.
That was so awesome last night. Oh my God, I loved it.
Yeah, that was cool. It was Tony. We talked about this not too long ago about how wrestling doesn't let anything be a surprise anymore.
Yes.
And well, I mean, I guess anybody who leaves WWE, you eventually assume they're going to show up in AEW.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool because everything. I was talking to Jimmy about it because he invited me. I wasn't planning on watching it.
Yeah.
Jimmy's just like, hey, I'm gonna get it. You want to come over? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Something to do. And yeah. What was that? Anyway, yeah. So it was. He kept on talking about Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And I know that's not his name, but that's what I know him as, so that's what I'm calling him. You all know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just see Adam Cole, especially because we just had that. We were just talking about him 2-3 days ago.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool. And then yeah, the Daniel Bryan thing, it was cool.
Yes.
The pops were huge, and yeah, that goes into that's obviously part of the positives of the show for me. But with that, kind of leads into a negative for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to do that right now or if we're just kind of going with the flow. I mean, if you want positives off the top, negatives later. Let me just say too that I don't normally come on wrestling shows because I don't like pro wrestling, current pro wrestling. I don't like it at all. Like, there's a lot of shit that pisses me off about it. Last night pissed me off a lot. It just, yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't want to hate it. It's just, it's different than when I used to watch it religiously.
Okay.
And what I used to like it for. And, I mean, we can go over that as this video goes on, but, yeah, there was some good last night, and I'm kind of excited to go over the bad because that's more fun. But the reason I don't come on the show is because I don't want to be Mr. Negative all the time. I don't want to do that, you know? I don't think that's fair for me to just come on. You guys, I don't want you guys to be all excited about shit, and then here I come just shitting over, all over everything. So
no,
I just don't feel it's right. So
it says a lot to have you on here because you just said it yourself. You're not a big fan of pro wrestling. A lot of it.
Well, I'm just on because I saw what happened last night, and I feel like, I think Hitman can back me up on this. I feel like I've been a wrestling fan long enough to, like, I'm not saying I'm right with everything. These are all my opinions, of course, but yeah. I mean, I've earned that where even if you may not agree with me, I get what's going on, I think is safe to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, but go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I can ramble on all night about it, so I'll let somebody else jump in right now.
Hey, man.
No, you guys go ahead. I mean, I have the overall thoughts of things, but I'm curious to hear the back and forth about it between you two, and I'll chime in wherever. I will say this though, before we move on to our actual topic, I know that our colleague, our buddy, our friend, Mr. Anthony Garcia posted a video on Friday. Basically talking about, everything that happened with, former pro wrestler Daphne. and his experience and things like that. I have to tell you that for you to do that, it was very courageous. It was good to see that, to hear that. I don't know if you guys are aware, but this is National Suicide Prevent Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And I hope that our subscribers or whomever is watching this could, watch that video that you posted on Friday, take some positives from it, and be great with their life. Because I saw it, and it like, I know you, I knew of the situation, but it's always a blessing to actually be able to hear that from somebody who went through it and was able to come out. So
I appreciate
that. So now we can move on to to wrestling. So let's go.
Thank you. Yes. Move
Well,
on.
I'll add a little bit to that. Well, yeah, I mean, you want me to move on? I mean, it's just
No, talk. Say what you guys
no,
think.
really quick. Yeah, those videos. Yeah, I mean, I think if somebody's on edge, it's good to see somebody that went through the same thing. So I mean, yeah, that video, only positives can come from it, I would think. I mean, I can't think of anything negative. Yeah, I brought up it was a bad time. I was kind of in the middle of that with Tony too. I mean, I dealt with him, and yeah, it was a rough time. I remember it really well, actually, and yeah. So I mean, he's okay now. He looks sexy as ever, and now we're talking about Adam Cole.
I will take my shirt off.
You are sexier than that one. Who was the one that returned, Ruby Riott? Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Have you ordered your All Elite Bebe shirt?
Not
oh
yet.
my God.
Not yet. I was gonna order a CM Punk, but fuck that. I'm going Adam Cole. Gotta go Adam Cole.
Well,
Andy's heel. That is awesome.
Yeah, you know what's funny or interesting? And this is kind of like one of my random thoughts. So when I was doing deliveries yesterday, one of my deliveries was actually at a Boston market in Schaumburg, which is like not that far from the Now Arena. And there was like a group of like 8 to 10 people there with CM Punk shirts, MSK shirts, like all this other, AEW stuff. And you could just hear the excitement that they had, for them going to a show. And I actually had a chance to talk to a few of them and just be like, hey, you're excited, like, yeah, Punk's here, and hopefully we'll see Bryan Danielson and some more people. But it's a general excitement for this particular company, these particular pro wrestlers that hasn't been felt in a really, really long time. And it was very evident in my conversations with those people at that restaurant.
Yeah, for me, I have to say the All Out pay-per-view, I think I watched it 2 more times today. I woke up at like 7 o'clock this morning and turned it on. And for some reason, I watched from the main event to the beginning. And then the second time, the beginning to the main event. Top 10 pro wrestling pay-per-views for me. It was just exciting. It was so fucking cool. Oh, jeez. And the fact, how long has the AEW been around? Not even 2 years, or maybe just a little over 2 years?
I think a little over 2 years, yeah.
Okay. And they're getting to the point they're starting to sell out arenas now. I don't know. I feel AEW is better than WWE now. Hitman, I told you I had a comment to make. You asked me what it was, and I waited for the show because I was hoping Scott would get on here. I feel. Hello. I feel the all-around talent and the all-around wrestling is better in AEW than WWE. Go ahead, man.
Nope. You finish. No.
You're wrong, but you can finish. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I have.
Not saying WWE does not have good wrestlers or good performers, whatever the fuck they want to call them.
Sure.
I just feel AEW is more consistent, more thorough, and more on point with their talent. I think I think last night was the first time I was bored with an AEW match, and that was the Big Show match. That was just all out stupid. I didn't enjoy that at all.
Okay.
It was just boring, but I've never been a Big Show fan. I find myself bored more often watching WWE than I have found myself watching AEW. I feel AEW passed a, what am I looking? What's the word I'm looking for?
A test?
Yeah, a test. They passed the test last night. And when Adam Cole came in and he did not, I don't want to sound like I'm riding this dude's nuts or anything.
Too late.
with my vegan burgers.
Yeah, Jesus. Holy shit.
He did the whole Adam Cole baby thing, and the whole stadium did it. Wow. And I'm not forgetting about the wrestling that we grew up with, the Attitude Era and all that. I'm kind of not including that because that was a whole different breed, a whole different time. But from the end of the Attitude Era to current day, that pay-per-view was just good all around. And them not announcing Adam Cole showing up, like Scott said, whoever leaves WWE, it's kind of assumed. Daniel Bryan, he was kind of announced that he signed with AEW. No one made anything official about Adam Cole. Nothing. It was kind of like Brock Lesnar popping up at SummerSlam. No one knew about it.
Sorry.
All right, Hitman. It's coming out of your ears, dude.
No. I was laughing at Scott.
Okay.
I've been good lately with hitting the mute button, and I forgot this time.
That's what.
No, I was laughing at Scott.
Please, input. Reaction.
Here,
Opinions.
I'll say this. I get what you're saying. I disagree.
Okay.
And actually, Scott and I had this conversation last night because I was driving back from the city and I needed someone to talk to because I didn't want to be texting and driving. Look, I was going to say this for the end, but AEW has done a tremendous job in terms of capturing the hearts of the forgotten WWE. Or let's throw WWE out of the equation just for 1 second.
Okay.
The forgotten pro wrestling fan.
Yep.
They've done a tremendous job in doing that. And bringing in guys like Punk, bringing in Adam Cole, bringing in Danielson or Daniel Bryan, wherever we want to call him now, to starting a company with Jericho and Moxley and having this other talent. What I will say is, to a point of overall talent, I will disagree with you in many regards.
Okay.
As good as those guys are, and I'm not even just going to talk about NXT and SmackDown. I'm going to leave those two out of the equation because those two are good shows. I'm going to focus on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
All right. I will put Randy Orton up against anybody on that AEW roster.
Yeah.
I will put Riddle up against anybody on that AEW roster.
Again, let me remind you, I'm not saying WWE has no good talent.
But here's why I think what you're missing and what my point is. If you're taking a point of the talent has never been a problem. You and I have done many of these shows where we said the roster isn't the issue. Yeah. The issue is the booking and creative. If they actually do everything correctly and not do certain stuff that's dumb,
yep, you
and I would be having a different conversation. But that's not the case right now because they foresee certain things being different. That's fine. That's their prerogative. That's Vince's company, whatever. Yeah. But the overall talent, like I said, I'll put Randy Orton, Riddle, Let's see here. I'll put Charlotte up against anybody within that women's roster, along with Shayna Baszler, if done correctly. Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, all those up against anybody within AEW. And I know you're a big Darby Allen fan. I am too. I'll put Jeff Hardy up against him any day of the week if done correctly. And I know that you and I are a big MJF fan, and I mentioned this to Scott yesterday. If done correctly, if you allow this dude right here to actually be what he used to be in the early 2010s, I would say 2010 to like 2013, instead of having him do all the outside promotion stuff, The Miz is a better heel than MJF.
Okay,
If you
you did say 2010.
If you allow The Miz to do that stuff instead of all this stuff that he's doing now, where he actually has to be Mike Mizan instead of the character of The Miz,
okay.
The Miz is way better.
But the issue is, you said it yourself, is the booking. The booking
I understand. I understand that. But I'm just saying, if you put those characters up against AEW, they're still the WWE at the end of the day. But the booking's been bad.
And I told you earlier, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow or in the next year, but if AEW keeps going down this path they're going, WWE has huge competition, man. They have.
Oh, look, they will have competition. They have competition right now.
Yep.
Can I jump in? Right there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Tony, what you said, though, they're not going to be able – there's only so many guys they can sign for that to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, now they got to do something with these guys. All that stuff was great last night, but now they have to do something with all these guys. And they're on television for 3 hours a week, right?
2
total
5
between the two shows?
Or no, 3 hours. 3 hours, you're right.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That's like, we've seen this movie before, and it was called WCW, where they dominated the WWE for years, right? Wasn't it years?
Yep.
A couple of years?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to make the same mistakes, but it has the potential. They're doing everything that the WCW did. They're taking, when Bret Hart went over, that was huge. And even Hogan, obviously Hogan, when he shows up somewhere else other than, under the Vince McMahon umbrella, then that's huge too. That's huge for the competition. I'm not saying, and see what AEW was last night's pay-per-view, I'm really good at I watch it, you get excited. What they did is a trick last night. Because that pay-per-view, if you ended it without the last 5 minutes, the pay-per-view wasn't that good. I'm just going to say, if those two debuts don't happen, that pay-per-view, it was fine. It was fine. All anybody remembers now is the two big moments of those two guys. The first match was bad. The second match was bad.
What did Vince always say? That Vince always says that they always remember the finish.
Right. And that's perfectly, that they executed that perfectly yesterday.
Yep.
And that's what with these new wrestling fans, they don't understand. And that's part of the reason that I hate fucking wrestling now, because all else is forgiven. That first match was a joke last night. I don't get with Rusev and that other idiot that he wrestled. That guy shouldn't be on TV. And these morons are cheering for this guy.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston.
I don't even know his name. The guy was horrible. The finish of the women's match last night, the women's match was really good. It was really good.
Like Battle Royale or the singles match?
No, the singles match with
Baker.
You got to forgive me. Yeah, I don't know the names.
Yeah.
Hitman, I told you about this. I vented this to you.
Yeah.
They completely ruined the match with the crowd, with the flow. I don't give a shit what everybody says. I'm right, and you're wrong if you disagree with me. They did that big move. What's that move? The Canadian Crippler or whatever they did that move out the whatever. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. The crowd's going nuts. And they do a fucking false finish. to that move. And then 10 seconds later, they get her in a submission move. She sticks her fingers in her throat and the match is over. Why didn't they end matches stupid? That booking is horrible. It's a horrible way to end the match. It's not that big of a deal in the scheme of things. I understand that, but it's little shit like that that makes me not like professional wrestling nowadays. There's too many false finishes. Everything's like a fucking that tag team match. I'm going all over the place now. I don't care. I'm open up now. I'm going.
There you go.
That tag team match was cool, right?
The cage match?
But it was like, yeah, the cage match. It was cool. It had a bunch of cool spots, but it's like a fucking circus. It's so embarrassing when they were standing in a box, giving each other super kicks back to back. I mean, it's stuff like that. Like, it's just, okay, this is awful. This is awful. This isn't wrestling. This isn't entertaining. This isn't funny. And the crowds just eat it up. I get it. I'm the minority, but it's just not for me. And it's just, that's the kind of shit that just, it makes professional wrestling to me a joke. That kind of stuff. I know it's fake. I get it's fake. I understand that. But at least pretend for a fucking second that it's real.
Yeah.
Pretend. The people that are doing it, just take it seriously for a second. That's the part that pisses me off. But yes, that's my overall thought. That pay-per-view was meh, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. And then the ending was 10 out of 10.
Well, it's interesting because the more I thought about it today, yesterday was AEW's equivalent to WrestleMania and the Raw after WrestleMania, in my eyes, because that was their biggest pay-per-view of the year. And then what normally happens on the day after WrestleMania? That's when you have all these big surprises. Yep. Me personally, if I was booking it, once again, this is just my opinion, I would have ended the show with Daniel Bryan. Adam Cole would have came out Wednesday on Dynamite. And you and I talked about this a little bit, Scott, yesterday, about how at times AEW puts so much in a vacuum that you can't really enjoy it right then and there unless you actually go back later and watch it. Like it's like this, it's that, it's this, and it's that. It's like so fast paced, and you're like, it's breakneck action.
That's funny you said that. I was watching it, and I got up to just little things. I got up to get something to drink, I think, and right away the next match is happening. I told my wife, I was like, "What the fuck? They don't even take any breaks." I told her it's happening fast. Things are going.
It's been going on since they've been doing live TV. It's they don't give their consumer, whether it's at the arena or on TV, time to breathe, or I'm not saying you have to take a 5-minute piss break. No, you can just give your audience a chance to breathe a little bit, to kind of
take it in, take what they
and then move on.
I agree
and then you have Daniel Bryan come out. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, you had those two guys come out like back to back, and then you kind of like, I hate using this analogy. It's like, you be with somebody and you reach that level of climax and excitement, and then like, where's the follow through? Like, we're done. So I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it.
It's like missionary position every single night.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit more than that. I mean, last night was better than missionary. So yeah. I mean, come on. It's I never mind. We're a family show. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah.
Now with the white claw you're drinking, this isn't a family show.
So, Scott, what else would you like to see for you to enjoy pro wrestling again? What is it that you're missing?
Me?
Yeah.
It's something that they can't get. They don't have the star power anymore. I think that's a huge factor.
Okay.
They don't have guys anymore that are like, I don't know, like nobody stands out to me anymore. Nobody's like, I like dumb guys like Riddle, but I mean, him at the same time. I mean, he's nothing. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that, but nobody like. Of course, I'm throwing out the top guys: Austin, Rock, Triple H. I'm throwing those guys. Of course, nobody's gonna match them, but nobody's like larger than life anymore. I don't know. It's just.
Well,
maybe I just grew out of it. You know, maybe it's just not my thing anymore. But it just nothing catches me like it used to. It just doesn't.
What did you think of the Jericho match, Scott?
Yeah, I still to this day I think Jericho. I told Hitman this. Jericho at his age, he's still a better performer than 90% of that roster. At his age, it wasn't his greatest match, but I mean, he could still do things. He still knows how. He's very good in the ring. He's very fluid for being 50 pounds overweight. But I mean, he knows what he's doing in there, and it shows. I mean, compared to like me and Hitman talked about Punk. Punk didn't look good to me last night, and I understand he's been away for a long time. It's going to take time, but he's not exactly young anymore either. So. Yeah, but Punk just, if it wasn't for Darby Allen, that match would have been rough to watch.
Was it? I texted you, Scott. Darby Allen's carrying this match on his shoulders. That match.
Yeah, I mean,
Darby Allen.
Yeah, if it was like Punk and Jericho, that might have been that wouldn't have been, or like Punk and the Big Show.
Oh boy,
that would have been bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. With the AEW, they're the hot thing right now. The new girl. You know, you're dating a new girl. It's awesome. Everything's awesome. But it's just 2 years from now. What are they? You know, when are they just gonna like? Okay, well, who did the WWE let go of? Okay, well, we're gonna have a surprise, debut of this guy, whoever the WWE didn't want anymore. You got to go out. They got to go beyond that. I mean, I know these are big guys that are coming back right now, so I get it. But it's just that's I don't think that's the formula for them to succeed in the long run. They're not gonna when it comes to like money, they're never gonna touch WWE. Vince is still laughing at that. He's not afraid of that.
No.
Well,
Vince is not worried about that.
I guess my question is I read somewhere today that currently, and I couldn't believe this number. I couldn't believe the number was this high. That AEW has somewhat of 108 wrestlers on their roster.
Jesus.
And I'm going to go back and check that because that was something that I read. And when you have a company that has two shows at 3 hours, and Tony, you watch more AEW than Scott and I, but does the YouTube shows do they advance storylines at all, or is it just more like we're going to put a bunch of people together and wrestle just so they can get work?
Right now, Dark Elevation, that's on Mondays, and shit, when is Dark on? I think Dark is on Tuesdays, I think. I don't watch the YouTube shows that often because they're really, really boring. Right now, they don't put like the superstar names on there, but they do put bigger names against the lower tier roster people.
Okay, so it's basically how, for example, the old WWF used to be with superstars on Saturdays,
yes.
where you have
yes.
where you have a lot of these bigger names or second tier guys going up against the local jobbers.
Yes.
Okay.
Like it's boring because the bigger names, they always win, they never lose. Like you said, it's just to go in there and beat up on the jobbers, almost like practice run for them, almost for the bigger names.
Okay, and that's my thing is, all right. So you have this many people on your roster, you eventually going to have to start branching out and getting more TV time.
I texted Scott last night, or recently I texted him because he brought up how many hours are they on a week. I read somewhere either Dark Elevation, they're moving to TV. I think for a 2-hour show.
Okay.
I think it was saying. I think it's going to be Dark. Yeah, I think they said dark because I think dark is above elevation, and that's like supposed to be the better of the two shows.
So that's the equivalent of let's say, so AEW Dynamite is the Raw / SmackDown.
Yes.
And which one would be just regular dark or dark elevation?
You broke up a little bit. What'd you say?
So which one will be going to TV?
I think it said dark.
Okay, so dark will be considered, let's say, Velocity or Sunday Night Heat.
Okay.
If I'm interpreting this correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine.
I know Punk went on there tonight.
All right, so you're talking about another 5 hour, another 2 hours. So they have 5 hours of programming.
Yeah.
On top of whatever they do for YouTube and stuff like that. Yep. Great. That's good. That's good because it makes no sense for you to have that much talent and not have. No, because they're gonna be in a situation where, like, the WWE, where you're going to be cutting folks because you're not using folks.
Yep.
So that's fine. My other issue was, and I'm glad you answered this, is that if those other shows advance storylines, because I'm going to be honest with you, the best storyline for me going into AEW last night, outside of Punk, was probably the year-long storyline between MJF and Jericho that finally came to an end.
Yeah, hopefully
that was
came to an end.
Hopefully, that was probably AEW's best storyline. What AEW does is, and once again, this is just my personal opinion, and this is not an attack on AEW because I do like it. It's just I see a lot of spot fest matches as opposed to storytelling matches.
Yeah, I said that to you before.
Right.
A long time ago. AEW, like, you don't have to worry about missing an episode because there's really no storyline to follow.
Right,
like,
and that's
on SmackDown and NXT. If you miss a couple of nights, you're totally lost on the story because so much can change.
Right, and that's probably like my biggest issue is, and hopefully now with some of these bigger names that you can have some of these compelling stories moving forward, but time will tell. It's funny, Jericho said something last week that I thought was pretty interesting. He said within the next 4 to 6 months they'll be able to catch Raw. It's funny to me that Monday Night Raw is, I do it all the time, it's the whipping boy. Like I want to see them go after the stronger show. Go after SmackDown. SmackDown's a stronger show. Go after SmackDown. You're the up and coming company. Go after WWE's best show right now.
Yep, which is SmackDown.
Just SmackDown. Go after that show. But I also want to see them get, 4 million viewers a week on television. Right now they're barely getting 2.
Yeah.
And they're getting, they've gotten 2 because of, the arrival of Punk. And I'm assuming that will go up because of the additions. But the WWE is getting, 4. SmackDown just did 2-3 after they brought back Lesnar.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. No wrestling company is ever going to pull in 7, 8, 9 million viewers on a night. That's just not going to happen anymore. But if you can consistently do 3 and 4s, that's good. That's good. But it has to be between all of your shows.
That's one thing that worries me about AEW. Going back, kind of correlates with what Scott said. How do they follow this up? How do they keep going with this? They can't keep depending on Vince letting top talent go and then they run out and get them. They have to be able to go out and find good talent.
Right. And that's why if you're the WWE, the only thing I personally will change is not necessarily the roster. You change the booking. If you change the booking, you're fine. You're gold.
there are some people I would get rid of. Me personally, but
of course, but even with that, if you repackage some of those people and actually use them correctly, yeah, it's fine. But that's the nature of this right now. People don't like WWE, not because of the roster. People love the roster. They just hate the fact of how people are being used, as opposed to AEW and they're pro wrestling as opposed to sports entertainment.
Yeah.
That's all that is. And look, Vince is going to do what Vince wants to do. That's fine. It's his company.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Vince McMahon is still Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon still has the power, the leverage, and all he has to do is just make one phone call.
he can do stupid shit,
Well, it's funny because actually Scott brought up two interesting points last night. One was, here, let me ask you this, Tony. Who do you think is probably one of the greatest heels of all time?
My opinion?
Yeah.
Oh boy, put me on the spot here.
Well, that's fine. I mean, there's no wrong answer. I mean, I have my opinion.
I got to get back to you on it.
Okay.
There's a lot running.
What if you take the greatest heel, or one of the greatest heels of all time, from probably the greatest rivalry of all time, came back as an on-screen character?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Right. What if Vince McMahon came back as an on-screen character?
Ooh. I would enjoy it. I'd watch it.
No, you know how hated Vince would be?
That would get me tuning in for sure.
I mean, or just like Scott brought up last night. What if Vince decides that, hey, a certain redneck rattlesnake, why don't you be the general manager of Raw? You don't got to wrestle.
Yep.
And I even brought up to Scott last night, Raw is in Miami. What would have happened if you would have heard, if you smelled, when Raw came on the air?
One of those two are coming back now.
Right. And that's why, for me, if I'm the WWE, I'm not, look, you never want to be worried. There's always going to be concern about your business.
Yep.
But you never want to be worried. There's a difference, in my opinion, between concern and worry.
Can Austin still wrestle, or do you think it would be strictly?
It'll be strictly, GM role. Maybe once in a while give a stunner, something like that. But nothing to a point where he's wrestling a match. I mean, if he's going to wrestle a match, it has to be a tag match where he's not doing a lot of the grunt work in the ring.
And he'd still get the pop.
And he'll still get the pop.
Jesus.
Yeah. And that's why, for me, when I look at this AEW company, who does Tony Khan have in his back pocket? Who can he call to say, hey, I need you, come and do this?
Right now, nobody.
Right now, nobody. Whereas Vince, discount The Undertaker. Discount The Undertaker. But he can call, and Hogan too, discount those two. He can call Brock. He can call Austin. He can call Triple H, maybe a Shawn Michaels.
Kane. He's got a lot.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of bullets in that chamber to use. That's why, if you're the WWE, you see what happened last night. You're like, all right, we just need to adjust. That's all.
He's going to adjust.
Oh, he's going to adjust big time. Because that's one thing that Vince McMahon doesn't do. Vince McMahon doesn't lose.
No.
Or if he is going to lose, he's going to go down swinging.
The thing with Vince too is that when he releases guys, he knows they're going to go to AEW. I mean, if he was worried about it, if he was concerned, he wouldn't do it. He's not concerned about.
The only guy who hasn't gone is Strowman, right? He went to Impact.
Right. But here's the thing with that comment, Scott. I'm glad
That's
you brought
very
that
true,
up.
Scott.
The thing with Vince is, especially like I read something today that when he met with Adam Cole and basically was like, all right, if you need to go, go. Because mainly Cole leaving is what's best for business. It truly is.
Well, he also Jericho also said that Vince basically gave him his blessing to go to Japan, and then with the same thing with AEW. Yeah.
Go. Same thing with Mark Henry. If you need to go to further your career, go. I'm not going to love you any different. Go. It's a business decision.
Yep.
Go. I mean, it's a little different with Punk. I mean, Daniel Bryan had nothing but glowing words to say about Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He even got booed in the ring. I actually watched that today. They had he gave a speech, after AEW went off the air last night.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, I know you guys are probably going to boo this. He's like, but I don't have a bad word to say about where I came from. And then half the crowd booed and half the crowd cheered. So
yeah, I mean, look, and that's the God's honest truth. They treated him royally.
Right.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Vince didn't want him to go, but he understood the reasons why.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, it's about business. You want to go?
Can you imagine me go do a year-long thing with reignite the Austin McMahon feud again, have Vince come out and be the tyrant again, and then somehow Austin becomes the general manager, and that storyline lasts from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. People would eat that shit up.
Oh,
yeah.
Just to see that, yeah.
See that, and that's what I'm saying.
Vince can have his group. Vince can have his boys in this corner, and Austin will have guys, that he can have wrestle for him.
Right. I mean,
stuff like that. Just stuff like that.
Right. I mean, and that's why, like I said, if I'm in WWE, I'm not overly worried, mildly concerned about what's going on. Last night was good for AEW. You would hope that AEW continues to have good shows.
Yes.
You want that. That's good for competition. That's good for,
now we got to see the follow-up.
That's good for business. Yep. It truly is. Because it forces the WWE to actually figure some stuff out.
Yep.
It truly does.
And I don't want WWE to fail.
No.
I don't want you to think I'm not a fan of them. I am.
No. I'm not saying you're not that at all. I'm not saying you want them to fail. I'm just saying that, for me personally, I still think WWE is the top company and AEW is on the rise.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask me about the roster, like I said, I'm going to take NXT and SmackDown. Okay, if we want to go NXT route, I'll take Samoa Joe not over anybody. I'll put Samoa Joe up against anybody on that roster.
Yep, he's probably their top talent right now.
Yeah. I even forgot about Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, where's he been? He's been gone for a while.
Yeah, well, he's wrestling tonight. So I actually watched the first hour and a half of Raw before we jumped on.
Okay.
So, I mean, look, it's not the fact that the roster's bad. It's the booking's been terrible at best.
Yep.
Another example I have, too, of what AEW, with having too much talent on one show is that yesterday was their biggest show. Now, this I can only say from hearsay. My brother loves Sammy Guevara.
Okay.
And he wasn't on the show last night. And apparently he's a very big talent, right? He's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
Right? And why is he wrestling? Now, he's not wrestling, but the big show is. Sammy Guevara is not in a main event match, but the guy who wrestled Rusev is wrestling. It's like
I can totally agree with you on that. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing, is that because there's not enough room for them, Is that, you know, I mean, what about, where was Cody? Or
Oh,
is he trying to like?
he's off doing something else right now. Oh, hey man, what happened? When Aleister Black went over there, he supposedly sent him out with injury. He gave him a.
Yeah, I think he's recording one of his TV shows that he's a part of through TNT or TBS right now.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I think. But still, I mean, your point is well taken. I mean, it's
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I see when I watch WWE. When I see these guys that are just like, I don't mean to bash the guy. I don't know if he's a good wrestler or not. But the first guy that comes to my head is that Otis guy. Like,
yeah.
I know people like him. Whenever he's fat, he's funny. Haha, fat guy's wrestling. But like, I just feel like there's got to be other people out there that are more entertaining and more talented than that guy.
I tell him, man,
that aren't getting their chance.
I'm like on and off with Otis. It's like he's cool, like you said, he's the big fat guy wrestling.
I don't mean to call that guy out. I'm just using his as an example. Maybe he might belong. Maybe he belongs. I don't know. It's just from what I've seen.
Again,
I know he.
Hitman's point, he's being used improperly.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I actually like this character now as opposed to when he was as part of the that tag team with Tucky.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
I like this. I like his character now. You know, I'm starting to turn into Tony, where I like a bunch of bad guys.
Oh God, I love heels. But going back to what you said, Scott, about Sammy Guevara, I would have definitely found room for him over Eddie Kingston. Eddie, I don't understand that whole rivalry with Miro and Kingston. It was just bad. But now that you say it, that would have been a way better match with Guevara.
Well, yeah, no, it just when I don't know wrestlers, I'm like, okay, you know, this is cool. I get to see what these guys are all about, and I get to watch what they do. The guy was horrible at selling moves, just random, like taking punches. Go back and watch it. It was just weird. It was awkward. Like he wasn't selling good. Maybe he's good on the mic. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's so popular. I don't know.
He is very good on the mic.
He's good on the mic, but he doesn't actually wrestle too often. That was the first time I've actually seen him wrestle. Jesus, I can't even remember when he could, because he teams up with John Moxley all the time. Him and Moxley, they're like tag team partners, but
no, I was trying not to bring that name up either.
Yeah, you didn't like Moxley, huh?
I fucking cannot stand that guy. Don't get me. I don't want to bash him, unless you guys want me to go into it. But I just
go for it. You haven't said much. Go for it.
He's a clown. I mean, he's horrible at acting. He doesn't do anything special in the ring. The coolest thing he ever did was when he got powerbombed outside of the ring at WrestleMania and he got folded up on the ladder. That's the coolest thing he's ever done, and that's because that Brody Lee screwed up and gave him the bad powerbomb.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just he rubs me the wrong way, and I just don't get why fucking people like him so much. When he tries to act crazy, he just looks like an idiot to me. Like it's like if he came up to me, I'm not saying I'm tough, I could beat him up. I'm just saying, like, if he came up to me and started acting like that, I'm like, oh, like get this fucking weirdo away from me. Like this crackhead's over here. Like it's not intimidating. It's not, you know what I mean? Like if Brock Lesnar, the way he acts crazy, that's scary because holy shit, that's fucking Brock Lesnar. When this guy's acting like crazy and his in-ring, his facial expressions, it's just I can't. I think it's awful.
It's like equivalent to Young Bucks. It's too much. It's over the top.
Well, yeah, but the Young Bucks have their thing though. Like they can perform in the ring. They can do their. I don't like the flippity shit, but I mean they can at least do that though. Moxley's just the guy. He's not built. He's not like, you know, I don't know. He's just. I think that's part of my reasoning earlier. Like nobody's larger than life anymore. Yeah. When you saw Austin come out bald head, ripped, he looked like he wanted to kill people. The Rock, big and buff, intense. Triple H, intense. You know, like those people look like they're gonna fucking kill somebody. And then this moron comes out and he's like going $180. It's not even good acting. It's awful. And it's just, and the people love it though. So I mean, what do I know? Like apparently I'm wrong with all this, but I just
look,
don't get it. I
wrong.
didn't understand it when he was Dean. I didn't understand it when he was Dean Ambrose. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it now. I don't. I just.
Well,
I never.
Here,
I don't
think
get
of
it.
it this way. Think of it this way. There is a segment of the pro wrestling community that hates the WWE. So anybody that comes from that company that joins
Right.
the upstart is going to be cheered through the moon.
But don't these fucking idiots know that if it wasn't for the WWE, none of these people would matter? None of them would matter.
I get your point, but
I get like Omega made his own way. Omega made his own way. The flippy
the
two
Bucks,
brothers.
the Bucks.
Yeah, they made their own way, and around the WWE, they didn't have to take that route. I get it, guys like that made a name for themselves.
Right, but
a lot of these guys. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like
go ahead. I'll keep yelling.
No, we enjoy your passion.
God.
Scott's Chicago tough.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that the company WWE is the boogeyman right now. It's the not cool thing right now. So like I said,
it's the cool thing. It's the cool thing to hate. Yeah, I get it.
Right. Exactly. So any wrestler that comes from that gets released from that company and goes to sign to the darling AEW or the upstart company AEW is going to be cheered because now he's not with the evil empire anymore. You know who the WWE is? They're the Yankees.
Very nice comparison.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
that's what it is right now. The WWE is the Yankees or Red Sox.
Yankees.
I like that.
We'll stay with the Yankees.
Yeah.
And AEW right now is I don't know, your Tampa Bay Rays, the upstart.
I thought you were gonna say the White Sox. I was gonna hang the fuck up right now.
No, I wouldn't go that far. They're the Rays. They're the upstart. They're the the team that can do no wrong. Everyone loves them, no matter what dumb stuff they do. I mean, that's
except for the people in Tampa Bay.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
That's right. Go ahead.
But that's in essence what it is right now. I mean, you have the evil empire versus the up and coming team that's with the new owner and the fresh. I mean, Vince McMahon, George Steinbrenner versus Tony Khan, whoever the owner is or general manager is of the Braves. That's in essence what it is.
That's a great.
And people don't like the WWE right now because booking, how they treated some of their favorite people. Oh my God, you cut this person. Guess what? It's business. Well, yeah, and then about that too is you see some of these guys on social media trash the company. Why do that?
That's I don't trash. I won't ever trash WWE because I know what they are.
Well, I mean, no. I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about wrestlers who leave the company.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, don't burn your bridge.
I know there were a few on that WWE roster that put out tweets that seemed a little suspicious. I know Alexa Bliss did one. Who else? There were like two others. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, look, Alexa Bliss that's another one I could put up against anybody on that female roster if they use her, if they go back to what she was 3 years ago instead of what's going on now. But I mean, Alexa Bliss. I mean, it's she's good. I mean, but you're always going to have people who, because at the end of the day, a lot of these performers are friends.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just like you had a lot of these people who are cheering for their friends, like a lot of people who was cheering for Ruby Soho last night because people generally like her. And she was, huh? Well, I mean,
she's the hot one.
People generally like her. They liked her work. They liked her. They like being around her, so they want to root for her. I mean, but I found it interesting. I don't know if you all saw the one Instagram post by R-Truth and Art about CM Punk. R-Truth doesn't say a bad word about anybody, but he mentioned something about Punk.
I don't do Instagram.
I mean, it made the rounds on Twitter.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, he basically was like, you know, in so many words, you know, you were bad. You were bad, you know, bad for business. I mean, I'll send you guys the, you know, the post for it, but I mean, that's in essence what he was getting at. I mean,
And Punk, I'm sorry, it matters too. Like, to me, maybe again, I could be wrong. Like, now after seeing CM Punk compete in the UFC, R-Truth could probably beat the shit out of CM Punk in real life. You know, I mean, like, that's like, you kind of lose, like, I'm the best in the world, and I lasted 1 minute and 20 seconds to Mickey Gall. Like, you're not the best in the world. I mean,
right. I mean, and that's why for
you
me,
got overweight fat Jericho outperforming your ass yesterday, and he's 50 years old or whatever he is.
right. I mean, that's why for me, I mean, you know, I look at Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, and I'm like, you know what? Those two are in a class of their own. If you were to ask me the, you know, money matches between the two companies, I'd rather see that than other stuff. I mean, outside of the one true, you know, money match is, you know, Rock Roman, but I mean, have a shoot fight between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar.
I think that match is going to happen. Going off track here, I think Roman is going to beat Brock, and then The Rock's going to come out. And then
that match is happening. That match is happening.
I don't think it will be. Yeah, I don't think it will be this year though. I think that's.
No.
I think that's, you know, maybe a year down the line. Yeah. But I mean, it's. I mean, right now it's. I mean,
and the AEW can sign Jesus Christ, and it wouldn't be a bigger thing than that match. I'm sorry, The Rock and Roman Reigns is going to draw millions.
Right. Right. I mean, and that's the thing. And I like AEW, but
you said it best earlier. What do they have in their back pocket?
Right. And then, you know, I mean, and that's supposed to be your big, you know, pay-per-view of the year, your quote unquote WrestleMania, and your main event is Omega Christian Cage. Now, what happened at the end of it was great, but
how do they top?
I mean, right. I mean, but you think about past WrestleManias and main events, and I mean, Shawn Michaels' Undertaker was bigger than this.
Oh God!
Hell, I'll make the argument that Hogan, well, Bret Hart, Yokozuna, mixing Hulk Hogan was bigger than what AEW did last night.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, if it. I know we were discounting the Attitude Era. I think, Tony, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't bringing up. But, like, that was just like a run-of-the-mill pay-per-view for the Attitude Era. Every pay-per-view for the Attitude Era seemed like it was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, in that main event match, it was good. Omega's really good. Christian's really good. But, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. Did anybody really give a shit about it today? No.
No, because only
what happened after the match.
Right, and that's why that
and
match.
Hitman. Another point that Hitman brought up too that we haven't gotten to yet too is that when Bray Wyatt does debut in the AEW, he's going to be in a faction with 15 other people. Like that I don't like either. That's what they do apparently in AEW.
Right. When they bring you in into a faction for the most part.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that name up. When you said, who does Tony Khan have in his back pocket? And he's nowhere near The Rock or anyone, but I mean, I don't see anyone else that he could possibly bring in now.
Look, the only other person they could bring in that would bring in name recognition would be Flair. Well, I mean, Flair's not gonna wrestle, but I mean, he's friends with Tony Khan, and yeah, I mean, but he'll call up and, you know, come out, do his woos and stuff like that. But
as for me, I'm only waiting for one more guy. You guys both know who that is. I'm waiting for one more debut, and I thought it happened last night. when the lights went out before Adam Cole came out. I thought that was Bray Wyatt coming out. I really did. But after him,
Yeah, like I said,
after him, I mean, what's like you said, man? What's Tony Khan's? You know what's his next card? You know?
Yeah, I mean, after you bring all these guys in, you got to start developing storylines for some of these people.
And it's funny, everyone who likes wrestling I talk to about Bray Wyatt, they all say he should go to the Dark Order. I don't want to see Bray Wyatt with a bunch of people.
Well, they're saying that because of his friendship with Brody Lee.
Yeah, I know that.
Which to be fair, which is part of one of the reasons why you have a lot of these guys going to AEW is because how they're treating Brody Lee's son and how they reacted to his death and things like that. So, you know, that's a big selling point. That, you know, AEW is kind of like the family atmosphere more so than the WWE is the corporate entity.
Yeah.
Even though in theory WWE is a family-run company. I mean, let's be honest, it's a family-run company.
Yeah. I mean, for him to join all the, like Scott said, like 15 other fucking guys, which are close to 15 of them. I don't feel, me as a Bray Wyatt fan, I don't think I would enjoy him as much. I mean, the initial debut, the first couple times on TV, yeah, I'll be really pumped and psyched for it. But after a little bit, I'll get over it. Like, honestly, I'm already getting over the whole CM Punk thing. Like Scott, you said, after watching him wrestle last night, and you said to me, it's your typical big name match. It starts slow and then it picks up. That was all Darby Allen for me last night. All I saw was Darby Allen. And man, he sold the shit out of those GTS knees that Punk gave him.
yeah, right.
He did really good on those.
Yeah, Darby, yeah, from not viewing him, I haven't seen him a lot, but from what I've seen, yeah, he's obviously he's legit. So, but yeah, with Punk, the big thing with Punk already happened. He came back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Now it's over. You know what I mean? Like, that's over. Everybody always wondered, would he come back to wrestling? He's back. Okay, well, that's over with. Now what?
Yeah.
You know, now what? Now I know they get to parade him city to city. Now other people get to see him other than Chicago. I get that.
Yeah.
And that'll be exciting for a while. But then a year from now, when he's back and he's wrestling mediocre matches because he's, you know, how old is he? Was he 40-some years old?
He's got to be close to his mid-40s.
Yeah, well, here's the
that's what I
thing,
mean.
and I've heard other wrestlers tweet this and say this, that you become a little bit more smarter when you become in your 40s of how to work in the ring. So I'm hoping that Punk works a little bit more smarter, that he knows his limitations, and you know he can't do all the stuff he did. I don't know, 7 years ago. You know, stuff like that. You know, like maybe, that's, the age thing doesn't necessarily bother me, because it's how you move in a ring. Like, once again, can you tell me a good story in the ring, no matter if you're 20, 30, or 40, or even 50? Just Sting's 60 years old, and he plays the hits all the time.
Like I said, we're talking about everybody and who's in the back pocket. CM Punk was in the back pocket of Tony Khan, but like you go up to 100 strangers, be like, you show them a picture of CM Punk. Do you know who this is? What, like 30 people may say yes, 40 people may say yes. Now go up and show a picture of The Rock to 100 people. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like wrestling fans know who CM Punk is. Everybody knows who the fucking Rock is. So it's just, yeah, it's like it's a comparison. It's not even like it's so minuscule what AEW has compared to what WWE could have. And I get it; it's only for a short period of time. It's only probably when The Rock comes back, he'll probably show up 4 times, maybe.
Yeah. But I mean,
but that's That's your pay-per-view right there.
Right. And then it goes back to draw. It goes back to, where the company is going. I mean, AEW is a startup. I mean, yeah, AEW is a cool thing, and you've had your sports center moment, but I mean,
And the wrestling business has changed too. Sorry, Hitman, I cut you off.
Oh, that's fine.
No, like wrestling, like WWE doesn't have to worry about pay-per-view buy rates anymore.
No,
you know what I mean? They don't have to do
everything's
that
through the
anymore.
network.
Yeah. The ratings don't matter anymore because they already got paid.
Right.
They're already getting paid from Peacock or NBC or whatever. So it's like the business aspect of it. It's like if they had to compete for ratings and pay-per-view buy rates, you'd probably see a lot more crazy shit in the WWE. But they don't have to do that.
Well, that's why, even going back to Tony's point about viewership and things like that, I would like to see them, to be perfectly honest with you, if they want to truly compete, move one of your shows to, hell, if you want to compete with Monday Night Raw, move to Mondays. But they're not going to do that.
No, because they'll set up some big thing and then Vince will be like, hey, Dwayne, can you show up for 10 minutes? Show up. I'll give you $5 million. Show up for 10 minutes and talk. No, show up for a half hour. Talk on the microphone.
Yeah.
Say hi to the people.
Yeah. AEW is not going to do that. AEW is not going to move their Friday show up 2 hours because AEW is.
I don't know. Sorry, I did it again, Hitman. Fuck.
No, you're good. AEW comes on at 9 o'clock on Fridays, right, Tony?
Yes. 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so they come on 2 hours after SmackDown's over. If you want to compete,
right.
Why don't you take over that second hour of SmackDown? Hell, WCW used to do that. If I'm not mistaken, WCW used to come on that second hour of Raw.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that would be.
Didn't they used to start too, like 5 minutes before Raw came on the air?
Yeah.
Like Raw came on at 8 o'clock and Nitro came on at like 7:55 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they used to
people start watching. Yeah.
And that's why, for me, when I hear Jericho talk about, okay, we're going to take eventually in 4 to 6 months, we're going to take over Raw. Okay, that's fine. But I know for a fact if booking ever gets back to where booking should be, you're not taking over Raw.
No. And you say that to me all the time, and I always keep that in mind. If they bring, like Scott, you keep saying his name. If they bring back that one name, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over for AEW.
And the Rock will do it. The Rock is devoted. He's 100% WWE.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah.
Because I've heard people like they should offer AEW can offer The Rock $1 billion. He wouldn't do it.
I know they offered Stone Cold. They offered
same thing. Austin will not do it.
No, I think they said they couldn't afford him or something. It turned out
they offered Angle a contract 3 times, and Angle already said no all 3 times.
Right. You're not going to get The Rock or Austin. That's just not going to happen.
No. And then I see all these memes on social media saying that Triple H is all elite because of what's going on in NXT. It's funny.
Can you imagine?
It's funny if Triple H now. That would be something if Triple H shows up. Like for me, that would move the needle.
Yeah, like him and Stephanie got divorced or something.
Right.
Oh.
That would be funny. That would be crazy. That would be awesome, actually.
Right. But I mean, even if you bring back Triple H, I mean, come on now. I mean, it's just like.
Well, who was it when it was him and Stephanie? Was this is what's best for business? Like they were awesome heels. Everybody hated them.
Right. The
authority. There you go. The authority. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's. Yeah, I had another point, but I forgot what I was going to say. It was what I was trying to interrupt you with, but I forgot again. It was a really good one, too. It was probably the best point I had. I don't know.
No, I mean it's like I said. I mean it's look, AEW had their moment last night with their biggest show. Now they get to start over with storylines and go off for the next year. I mean, and the WWE will adjust. They will do what WWE does, and they'll go from there. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, the WWE has a big show at Madison Square Garden coming up on Friday for 9/11. Brock's supposed to show up. I mean, and that's a big storyline that they have going on right now. So I mean, it's. I mean, if you were to ask me, I mean, Brock Lesnar's probably. I put Brock Lesnar up against anybody on the AEW roster. I mean, there's a reason why allegedly Tony Khan was offering money to Brock.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Come on now.
Well, Brock's another one. I know he's had his issues with Vince, but I'm pretty sure Brock is loyal to Vince.
Yeah, because
now when you bring up Dana White, that's a different story though. That's two different sports.
Right.
That's apples and oranges. But
right, but Brock will get paid a handsome amount of money for working less. And Brock and Vince knows, Brock, and this is a thing that I think people fail to realize about Brock. Brock will do whatever it takes for business. If Brock was a real douche about shit, he wouldn't put people over.
No.
He put Seth Rollins over. He put Roman over. I mean,
hey, and even
good point.
I know he beat Kofi pretty easily, but he let Kofi have some offense too. That's stuff like that too.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of offense, but
right. I mean, even the match he had with Samoa Joe. I mean, the thing with Brock is, I'm gonna bring it. I expect you to bring it back, and if you don't, you and I are gonna have issues because I'm a legit fighter, and I want to fight. So I mean, I'll do what I can to protect you, but let's go. I mean, and that's the thing with Brock. I mean, Brock is a smart business person, man. It's you get paid $6 million a year, and you only work 6 days a year. I want that.
You made that joke, right, Scott? Here's 25 grand for 5 minutes of talking.
Well, yeah, me and Jimmy both said the same thing last night when Sting came out. Like he walked out with Darby Allen, and then Darby Allen went to the ring and Sting went to the back, and I was like, oh, well, Sting just made 10 grand. He walked out for 10 seconds.
And that's the thing. I'm like, the biggest non-WWE name was Sting. I mean, I like Sting, but Sting's not what he used to be.
No.
I mean, personally, that's the equivalent of if Vince decides that he wants to bring back the Undertaker. Love the Undertaker, but he's not
another guy AEW could try to get. Never will.
Oh, no, never will.
But yeah. No. Well, yeah, especially you watch that documentary with the Undertaker. He's pretty devoted to Vince, even now, even today. He has a good relationship with him. Man.
Vince has his guys. Vince has his guys, and that's one of the things that I keep pointing out. Vince got so many cards that he can play. If he played 2 already with Becky Lynch and Brock, he could play more if he wanted to.
Right.
The glass shatter.
And also,
so many.
That's all it takes is that glass shattering, man, and boom, the crowd goes nuts. They get the same ovation. I'm sorry, I don't mean to demean it because I know you liked it so much, Tony, but that glass shatters anywhere, and that what's his name?
Adam Cole.
Who just showed up yesterday? Adam Cole, yeah. Yeah, that pop is like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's just certain things or certain sounds that when you hear that transcends, this industry, the glass shaking or the glass shattering, or if you hear Lemmy from you hear Lemmy from Motorhead. You hear If You Smell, if you hear a gong. It's just certain Or hell, I even go as far as say, like even if you hear a woo, but I don't know if the woo will be
Right.
that game changing though.
The guy's still popular, but I mean, he's been other places, so it's not like it would be train. It wouldn't be that mind blowing to me if he showed up in AEW.
Right.
I mean, he's how old is he? I mean, if they're gonna pay him the money, sure.
Right. I mean, he's about the same age as Hogan.
Right. Another point I was going to make too, back to I don't mean to go back to this. I don't know if we were wrapping up or not, but like with I don't know the numbers exactly, but I threw on Cornette's podcast last week, and he loved everything. Cornette and his partner, they loved how they did the the Punk return they were talking about. But then Cornette said something, I don't know, like I said, I don't remember the numbers. The ratings wise that week, there was obviously a boost, but the following week was lower than it was the week before Punk came.
I know
exactly. And I forgot what the number was exactly, but I remember him talking about that, and it's just like, that's weird, that's odd.
That goes back to your point again, Scott. Tony Khan's got to find out a way to keep things fresh without waiting for WWE talent to be released.
He's got options. He's got plenty of options to put on a good show with that roster. He does.
Yeah.
He absolutely does. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm telling you, give me a blank check, I could put on an awesome wrestling show 4 times a year.
Yeah.
I could. I know nothing about promoting wrestling, but if you give me a blank check and I can have whoever the hell I want, I can have here, Tony, Hitman, Jimmy, help me. You guys are my partners. Help me. We'll plan this.
Here's the thing. Like, you may not know a lot about pro wrestling, but you know what's quote unquote best for business.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, look, if you can identify a character and go with it and develop it, that's gold. I mean, and that's what's missing on the red brand of WWE, as opposed to. Actually, Tony, let me ask you this, and just be honest. Is there really a lot of character development within AEW?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I don't even have to think about it. There's not.
Okay.
It's like what you get in your debut, that's what you get.
Because
that's your final product.
Because like I'm wondering, and I heard Bully Ray mention this on the show. Do you think that there's an extra gear to MJF?
Possibly, but I don't see it.
Okay.
All it is sarcasm. He rips up a fan sign and gives someone the finger. Every single time he's in front of the camera.
Okay. Because I'm curious about that, because I know we as fans get on WWE about character development and booking whatever, but I haven't seen character development over the past, at least that much character development over the past years with AEW. Maybe my TV's broken. Maybe I'm not looking at things correctly.
No, you're absolutely right.
Okay. I mean, I'm just curious. That's all.
I want to say the only person on that show I see their character developing, and he hasn't been around long at all, is Aleister Black. It's like every week he does something different and new, and it gets better.
Okay. I mean, and like I said, I was just curious about that, because it's something that we as fans get mad about WWE, about how they do their characters.
And I will say he's one of the wrestlers I enjoy much more watching him on AEW than I did in WWE.
Yeah.
It's like his gimmick and his personality and just him as a person, he fits so much better in AEW than he did on Raw or SmackDown. Because Raw or SmackDown, I don't know if you'd call it a family show. I don't know. It's more.
Well, and the thing was, the thing was, like, right before he got released, I mean, he was kind of doing the same character he's portraying now a little bit, and then he got released.
Yep.
You know, it's. I mean, I wouldn't call SmackDown a family show. Yeah, it's on network TV, but there's some things that you can get away with.
Yeah. Oh. I'm just enjoying him more over in AEW.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
And I did it
Sure.
in AEW.
Look,
Then I
enjoy Miro now more so than I ever did in WWE.
I told you that because
actually that might be another guy, that's character development, and that's just because he's not doing stupid.
Yeah, I want to talk about him. I want to talk about him real quick. The wrestler who got me into AEW was Darby Allen. I saw him do the coffin drop. I thought it was fucking great. I don't know why, I just liked it. And then I saw that Rusev or Miro was there. I was like, oh God, this guy. But then I saw how he's being used and his character is somewhat different than in WWE. Now I like him. He's doing this God's favorite champion thing. I want him to tweak that a little bit so it fits with what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like, I think if he's gonna be going around saying he's God's favorite champion and putting people down, telling them I forgive you, he needs to be a little bit more dark, a little bit more evil. I don't want to see all the flashing lights and the fireworks going off and all that shit. But I don't want it dark like Malachi Black or like a Bray Wyatt thing. But that needs to be tweaked a little bit. But I am a Miro fan. I am a Miro fan.
You know what? If you go that route, you might as well just make him a cult leader.
Whatever has to be done. I just want him to.
Honestly, if that's the case, if he's going to go, I'm the God's favorite champion and start tweeting that out, you might as well just make him a cult leader.
When he calls himself the Redeemer, I think
he's a cult leader.
Yeah, I think of like a very dark graphic novel that I would read or something I would watch on TV. Not I'm the Redeemer, I forgive you. And then flashing lights and fireworks all over the place.
Yeah, why don't you make him a deacon like Batista?
Whatever.
No, you don't want to do that. No, go back. YouTube Batista's first gimmick in WWE when he was Devon Dudley's deacon. One of the worst gimmicks ever. Thank God they got rid of that.
Yeah.
But I see your point, though. Make him a cult leader, make him a little bit more darker. Once again, character development.
My 2 cents about Miro Rusev was that, if anybody cares, I remember when he was in WWE watching him thinking, yeah, this guy, he's got the talent. He could be a champion. I honestly believe that. I could see that.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has the skill set to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got the skills. He's got the yeah.
I just
don't
think
with him with the whole Redeemer and God's favorite champion and all this biblical shit that he's doing. I wouldn't mind seeing Bray Wyatt come in and put him down because of Bray Wyatt's whole thing that he does.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think that they have options, and I'm curious to see how they develop all these characters over the next 4 to 6 months.
I live in a fucking zoo. But no, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Bray Wyatt comes and redeems Miro.
All right.
So I don't know if you guys got anything else or.
That's the most wrestling I've got in 2.5 years. What?
Nice. But what grade would you give All Out on the AF scale?
Are we doing? B minus ish. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Just from the clips that I've seen, I'll give it a B. It was of what it is. It was her biggest pay-per-view of the year with a lot of surprises and things like that. I mean, like, am I supposed to be shocked at here's another thing. Am I supposed to be shocked at the reaction that AEW is getting coming from a city that, how can I put it, that is known for having the most rabid pro wrestling fans in the country? Am I supposed to be shocked by that?
No.
So
yeah, they definitely know what they're doing, choosing Chicago. Yeah.
Right. Like they were here all week. All week. Like, am I supposed to be shocked that, you know, all the internet darlings that, you know, from the independent scene showed up and everybody went stir crazy over it? Am I supposed to be shocked by that?
They even did a charity softball game.
Yeah. Am I supposed to be shocked by that? No. They did what they had.
The greatest celebrity softball game of all time. If WWE tried it, it would suck. It was the greatest softball game ever. You go online. That's how those fucking weirdos are. You go online. Look.
Scott, you are officially a pro wrestling fan now.
No. I will see you guys again in 2022.
But no, I'll give it a B- too. I'm in that B- range. So.
And if you know what, if those last 2 minutes didn't happen, C-.
I could agree.
And I'm not kidding.
I could agree with that. I'd go C+.
Right.
I'll go
C. I'll go C.
So.
Yeah, but other than that, go ahead. I don't want to talk anymore.
Oh, go on, talk.
No, I have nothing. I was kidding.
Okay. Well,
tap out.
Hey man, you got anything else?
No, like I said, I mean, it's a fun look. You said, you know, in a text to me, so you love pro wrestling. I'm like, it's a good time to be a fan. I mean, you got competition, you got options.
Yep.
You know, what I always hope is that, you know, shows get better, and you know, the show I keep referring to is Monday Night Raw, because we all seen what Monday Night Raw used to be.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to have Attitude Era Monday Night Raw back.
Nope.
Give me something competent.
Like I said, I'm just waiting for one more return, and then I'm good. Once that one more return happens.
Well, let's all guess who that fucker is.
Yeah, right. Spike Dudley.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Spike Dudley was on the show, B-.
A+.
Plus.
Oh, I'll take the Boogeyman.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
So, all right. Well, if you guys don't have nothing else, Scott, you gotta get on these more with us. I enjoyed your.
No, I like watching.
I enjoyed your input.
No, I watched. I'm all tapped out now. That's my wrestling for the year.
Okay. All right. Well,
until we do another WrestleMania countdown show.
Let me just say, I liked it more than I thought I did, but it's not enough. It aggravated me enough to where I don't want to keep watching it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Perfect sense.
Like I said, I'm understanding that I'm in the minority when it comes to that opinion, but that's just, I'm sorry. I can't help the way I feel.
Apology accepted.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
Cool.
Goodbye.
Fun time as usual.
Until the next one.
Think of my nickname. God damn it! It better not be anything fat. It better not be anything. It should be something sexy.
Oh yes.
Nothing fat. Nothing ugly.
I won't.
We know that already. Yeah. All right.
Bears NFL preview this week. What's up?
Yes.
Hitman the GOAT?
Yes, he is. He's the GOAT.
How did he become the GOAT?
I don't know.
I just said it one day. So.
That's bullshit.
GOAT now.
I'm kidding, but yeah, we got to get ready for football season. I'm not even in football mode yet. I'm not even in baseball mode after the way the Sox played over the weekend, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's all coming up really fast. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a Bears thing. Got to do a White Sox thing. I don't know.
Yes. Yes. But we'll figure it all out.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yep, you too.
Good night.